The largest earthquake swarm detected since 2009 at Mount Rainier. Buckle up, Buttercup. Listen to this. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network recorded hundreds of small earthquakes at Mount Rainier on Tuesday morning. The U.S. Geological Survey says this is the largest earthquake swarm at the volcano since 2009. I don't know if you felt that anything out there or not. Let's do a quick screen share. How's your day going? Anything exciting in your neck of the woods? Well, God bless all of you that have been dealing with the flooding and crazy weather that's going on. Check out the next podcast that we're going to do, because I do have updates about the situation in Texas. So make sure to jump on over to our Patreon page, where we have exclusive content on our Patreon page. And also, if you're looking for something to help protect you from potentially harmful EMF radiation, whether it's 4G or 5G or your router, check out tinfoilcap.co, the original EMF protection from head to toe. It actually works. It's effective. Awesome testimonials, great prices, tinfoilcap.co. Check it out. Also, check us out on Patreon after this podcast. But let's do a screen share and take a look at this. So this is from kxly.com. An earthquake swarm began at Mount Rainier, 1:29 a.m. Pacific time, July 8th. The map shows the current swarm in orange, with all earthquakes located since 2020. That's the blue and the surrounding areas. According to PNSN, hundreds of events have occurred thus far. The maximum was a 1.7. This is the largest swarm at Mount Rainier since 2009. This is from x.com, USGS. Let's do a screen share on this, zoom it in. It's a substantial amount of earthquakes. Fortunately, nothing too extreme out there right now. I used to live in that area, and there are all sorts of signs about where to go. This is the route you take in case of a potential potential volcano eruption at Mount Rainier. This is from USGS also, Science for a Changing World. The highest peak in the Cascade Range at 14,410 feet forms a dramatic backdrop to the Puget Sound region. It does. It's incredible. And what would happen if Mount Rainier were to erupt? Well, the primary concern would be the formation of lahars, massive mud flows composed of volcanic debris and melted snow and ice. These lahars can travel at high speeds, potentially devastating communities in the valleys surrounding the volcano. Additionally, an eruption could produce ashfall and lava flows, impacting a wider area. Now, Mount Rainier is covered in glaciers and snow, which would melt rapidly during an eruption, create massive lahars. These mud flows could travel at speeds of up to 50 miles an hour, carrying huge amounts of debris and potentially reaching communities like Orting and Puyallup within minutes. Puyallup's a pretty big city. I've got family out there. It's a nice city. The Puget Sound's beautiful. It's like one of those places you can be happy and depressed at the same time, because it's such a gorgeous state, but it just rains so much out there. So you got to be ready for that. But volcanic ash could also be dispersed downwind, potentially affecting a large area, including parts of eastern Washington. And ashfall can disrupt air travel, damage infrastructure, obviously pose health risks. The pyroclastic flows, intensely hot rock and lava and volcanic gases, which are called pyroclastic flows, could also be produced, particularly in the immediate vicinity of the volcano. These flows are extremely dangerous and can travel at high speeds. While less likely to extend far from the volcano, lava flows could still occur, potentially impacting areas within Mount Rainier National Park. So the most significant human impacts would likely be from the lahars and ashfall. Evacuation plans are in place for most communities in the path of lahars, but the speed at which these mud flows can travel presents a significant challenge. Ashfall can also pose health risks, especially for those that have respiratory issues. So not just Mount Rainier, but also you've got Mount Baker, Glacier Peak, Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams, and there's been increased activity around Mount Adams, which is interesting. So Mount Adams, the second highest peak in Washington, is also an active stratovolcano with the history of eruptions and there has been an increase in earthquake activity around Mount Adams. Typically, the volcano experiences one earthquake every 2 to 3 years. However, between September of last year and January of this year, there was approximately 12 earthquakes, including a magnitude 2.0 event. And this spike in seismic activity prompted scientists to install additional monitoring equipment and redirect some research efforts. So the 6 earthquakes recorded in September represent the most earthquakes recorded in a single month since monitoring began in 1982, over 40 years ago. So we have a substantial increase in earthquake activity around Mount Adams. We've got an increase Mount Rainier. The USGS has installed temporary seismic stations to better monitor the volcano, is working on additional permanent stations. Now, they say there's no immediate threat. The increased activity is unusual. Scientists haven't detected any signs of an impending eruption, and the alert level remains normal. Mount Adams is considered a high-threat volcano due to its potential for landslides and lahars. The last known eruption of Mount Adams was between 3,800 and 7,600 years ago, and that's according to KPTV. Also, we have activity at the axial seamount. It's a seamount submarine volcano, an underwater shield volcano in the Pacific Ocean, located on the Juan de Fuca Ridge. It's about 300 miles west of Cannon Beach. I don't know if you've ever been to Cannon Beach. It's a really cool beach in Oregon. Great seafood out there, cool little town vibe. And I think that's where they filmed part of Goonies, one of the scenes or a couple of the scenes in Goonies. Beautiful area. It's so standing at 1,100 meters or 3,609 feet high. The axial seamount is the youngest volcano and current eruptive center of the Cobb-Eichelberg seamount chain. It's located at the center of both a geological hotspot and a mid-ocean ridge. The seamount is geologically complex. Its origins are still poorly understood. The axial seamount is set on a long, low-lying plateau with 2 large rift zones trending 31 miles to the northeast and southwest of its center. The volcano features an unusual rectangular caldera, and its flanks are pockmarked by fissures, vents, sheet flows, and pit craters up to 328 feet deep. Its geology is further complicated by its intersection with several smaller seamounts surrounding it. There you go, the axial seamount. Now, there is talk of this actually, this volcano is predicted to erupt later this year. Experts are saying that they do not see any problems on the coast. They're saying Oregon and the coast might not even realize or feel the after effects of this eruption. Time's going to tell. But there has been increased activity, not globally, but in certain regions. So let's take a look at this. It has been intensifying. Mount Etna, Italy, experienced a major eruption in June of this year with strong ash emissions and explosive activity. Kilauea, Hawaii, is continuing to see a summit eruption with increased lava, fountaining, and flows. The axial seamount, which is offshore Oregon, a predicted eruption of this underwater volcano may impact marine life. The Sundhnúkar eruptions in Iceland, Sundhnúkar, a series of eruptions continued near Grandavik following the earthquakes in late 2023. And then in Indonesia, Mount Liwatobi erupted in July, sending ash 19.6 kilometers high and affecting nearby villages. Costa Rica's Poas volcano saw intensifying eruptions, raising concerns, and glacier melt and volcanoes. A new study highlights the potential link between melting glaciers and increased volcanic activity. So there you go. I hope you have a beautiful day. Check us out over on Patreon and be excellent to each other, everybody. Be prepared, not scared. Be the change you want to see.